Hello, this is Movie Monster, and here's some stuff I watched. I'm here at the 2022 edition of DOC NYC, the largest documentary festival in America. With over 105 documentary feature films and over 200 documentaries total, there's something for everyone who's a fan of real stories on screen. The festival includes films on politics, media, sports, nature, and interesting people from all corners of the earth, as well as a selection of the best documentaries of the year, which includes some of the best films of the year overall. I wasn't able to go to everything, of course, but I at least wanted to talk about what I did get to see, in the hopes of spreading the word. Werner Herzog's documentary career has explored such subjects as ancient caves, the death penalty, volcanoes, and the internet, but with Theater of Thought, he's delving deep into the mind itself. He's not just covering the human mind either. From the smallest creatures with neurons to brain-reading machines, Herzog embarks on a road trip to explore how we think and what the future of the brain holds. The film features Herzog's signature style, one he described during the Q&A not as journalism, but poetry, and frequent humor, as he talks to scientists, doctors, programmers, and even Philippe Petit of the documentary Man on Wire. My main complaint is that the film has some major problems with pacing, and some of it, particularly early on, could get a bit slow, enough that it threatened to ruin my enjoyment of the film. I wish this wasn't the case, because some of the material in it is utterly fascinating, if not, no pun intended, mind-blowing. From organisms that can rearrange their cells after being essentially liquefied, to the potential of quantum computing, to mice trained in virtual reality, to the latest advancements in neurotechnology, as well as their ethical implications. My final verdict is that it's a good documentary, but it had so much potential to be a great documentary, and I do wish I could have enjoyed it more. However, I did go into it looking for a fascinating look at the brain, and it definitely delivered on that front, and what I saw will stay in my mind for quite a while. You may not have heard of the town of Bad Axe, Michigan, but after watching the documentary Bad Axe, you likely won't forget it, or a specific few of its inhabitants. Director David Siv turned the camera on his family, including his Cambodian father and Mexican mother, during the first month of the pandemic, as they struggled to run their restaurant. While there's already been a lot of material on the pandemic, what struck me about this was its incredibly raw and personal feel. The film begins as David has essentially decided on a whim to film his family as the pandemic is beginning, and everything that ultimately followed over the next year just happened. It's the kind of documentary setup I love, and it turns the family members into film subjects the audience can become attached to. However, as the year goes on, the film essentially becomes a real-life thriller, as the family finds itself on the wrong end of the right-leaning, if not openly far-right community, and without giving too much away, the production of the film has a bit of an impact on that. The family's present-day experience is supplemented by stories of how David's father emigrated from 1970s Cambodia, shaping his rough attitude and resilience in the face of conflict. It manages to say so much about the current state of the country and the American dream, while at the same time staying a family story, which is remarkable for a film that started as a series of home movies. The screening was actually preceding the film's theatrical and VOD release on November 18th, so unlike many of the films here, you can watch it for yourself. So what's your name?
My name is David Siv, and I'm the filmmaker behind Bad Axe.
What do you want to tell people about the film?
I hope you have a chance, when you do watch this film, watch it with family. Watch it, it is a film that is ultimately about family at the end of the day. So watch it with your loved ones. Don't take anything for granted, and just appreciate that, we were all able to make it out of these past couple of years together.
Finally, Villeneuve Pironi examines an infamous racing controversy and tragedy. Coming into this as an outsider to Formula One racing, I felt the doc was a fairly interesting watch, though I wish I could have been more invested in it. The documentary centers on the friendship between acclaimed Canadian Formula One racer Gilles Villeneuve and French Formula One racer Didier Pironi. The two initially became friends as teammates, until a controversial incident in 1982 tore apart their friendship, foreshadowing a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. It's a tale of racing politics, betrayal, and of course, danger. And the film especially delivers on the last one with some truly gut-punching footage of just how deadly Formula One racing can be. The film contains extensive archival material, some of it unseen, but where not enough was available, clever use of abstract imagery and fast editing do an effective job of conveying the Formula One experience. The director also made the decision to focus heavily on the women in the story, showing what a career in racing does to relationships and families, especially a situation like the one in the film. If you don't know the story by now, I won't give away too much. At the Q&A, the director said that he was surprised that despite how infamous the story was among racing aficionados, nobody had made a film about it, mainly because nobody could get the two families to cooperate together. Now that somebody has, I can say that it did a decent enough job, but I felt the film could have held my interest more. But again, I'm an outsider to the subject, and perhaps racing fans will appreciate it more than I did. In my next video, I'll have more coverage of the festival, including their influential list of the year's best documentaries.